Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Pixel Ship podcast. It is February 25th, 2014, and we made it past our very first episode. With me, as always, I have Joel Hartlob
Heyo.
and Ryan Blandy,
I am here.
and I am Ryan Hayes, and together we make up pixelship.net. The podcast, we were just kind of talking about what we've been playing, what's in the news, and whatever else has come across game related for the week. So, Joel, what have you been playing this week?
Pretty much the same stuff, dude. Final Fantasy 14 has kind of dug its way into my life right now.
Have you been playing it regularly, or is it?
Yeah, for the most part, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
So, what's the appeal of that game? Is it just the missions are really well written, the characters kind of fun to level up? Like, what's keeping you coming back?
For me, it's got an old school, like more of an older school RPG MMO to it. Than like newer advents of like WoW and stuff like that. I don't know what it is about it. I can't really describe what it is. But it's got like it doesn't have all the stupid streamlined stuff that made a lot of the newer MMOs like very, very easy and simple. I'm not saying it's super difficult or anything like that, but it doesn't have a lot of those streamlined elements that get filtered into the game when you're trying to pull in a bunch of casual players.
So, I guess one of the things that I never really found appealing about MMORPGs is it always seemed to be, if my number is this and the enemy's number is this, then I can attack it. Otherwise, I can't. And I know it's not that simplistic, but what can they do to make that not an issue if it's not just a simple, oh, his number is too high for me to go after?
Well, I mean, honestly, that's the way RPGs, especially the JRPGs, have usually been. It's more of a numbers game than it is necessarily a skill-based thing, I guess. Like, there are different mechanics and stuff that you can manipulate. I haven't played enough of it to really go that deep, because that kind of stuff only comes into play for more like the higher-end boss stuff or even like dungeon content. But even in like older RPGs, it was still a numbers-based game, except for certain boss fights you had to manipulate certain mechanics to be able to win the fight. I can remember a couple in particular in Final Fantasy X where you had to manipulate the zombie mechanic or zombified mechanic or something like that to be able to win. And those battles took a lot of strategy and could be excruciatingly hard at times. But it was, I don't know, those are probably some of the more fun ones too.
So it's basically the same concept as the turn-based system, but it's just because of the time. It's still kind of that you take a turn and I take a turn, but maybe a little bit more real time. I guess I just never really got into any of the fighting mechanics. It was always just kind of click on this thing till it dies. Where I think the older RPGs I've played are more like, okay, make sure that your healer is always in a good position to stay alive, and you kind of have to keep up on them, because if they go down, you're not able to heal your whole party. And I guess it's more the party management aspect.
Honestly, when you get into the party stuff, which I think towards the middle and end of the games, that's usually what these kind of games are geared towards. You're gonna have that party management stuff, like you're gonna have a healer, a tank, and damage, and you have to be able to manage all that stuff appropriately. And if especially one of the vital pieces, like the healer or the tank, goes down, you're pretty much screwed.
I guess I just don't want to deal with people. I'm happier with just robots. Like, I have full control over the party. I don't have to worry about some guy, getting up, going to the bathroom. The healer's away from the computer.
Somebody's house suddenly lighting on fire.
Yeah.
I remember hearing stories from World of Warcraft of people, just like some of the ridiculous stuff they would hear.
Just the excuses for being away from keyboard.
Yeah, and I mean 90% of them, they were fake, but like they were just hilarious. And
so, what else have you been playing other than Final Fantasy?
Honestly, this week, not much. It's been a busy week.
Just a lot of MMORPGs. Blendy, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
I've actually stopped playing Final Fantasy 14.
Okay, so let's look at the other side. Why have you stopped playing Final Fantasy
Because I got too apart in the story where it tells me I gotta play with people.
See, Blandy sees
I
my
don't
pain.
like to play with people. I hate other people. And guess what? Now it's forcing me. It is forcing me. If you want to go farther in the story, you have to be in this dungeon. You gotta do the party thing. Hey, it's easy. Here's your tutorial. And I went like, nope, and started playing Team Fortress 2.
Back to
other-
the Team Fortress. No, but
Started
I
playing
agree.
Team Fortress 2 with people.
Yep.
But I kind of take Ryan's side on this. Like, when it comes to an RPG,
I don't like to be forced, man.
I should be able to play through it. I understand that kind of defeats the purpose of a massive multiplayer online RPG,
Well, I don't play them like that.
but yeah, if I want to be able to explore the world by myself and link up with friends, when it's convenient, or once in a while for like special dungeon raids or whatever, then I like that. But I wouldn't want to be forced into making a party. I like the fact that traditional RPGs, you kind of manage your own team. Do you know if there's ever been an RPG where you maybe had a squad of 4 people that you managed, and there are other squads of 4 people running around?
You mean like an MMO?
Well, I mean, like, I guess the closest thing would have been the Old Republic for Star Wars. Because
Okay.
you did have an extra party member, a companion to
That
your
wasn't
doc-
like a pet. They were like a legitimate character that had
No,
their
they
own
were a
stats and
legitimate
equipment.
character. They attacked. They had skills. You could tell them to do stuff,
But
or they did it
pretty much-
automatically.
They pretty much were a pet then. Like, in the traditional sense of, like, in the MMO terms, they were a pet. Like, every class was a pet class, and your companion was your pet.
Yeah, but it did stuff. It attacked.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm
Yeah,
saying
but
in,
pets
like,
can attack.
I'm saying in, like, World of Warcraft Hunter is a pet class because a lot of their skills revolve around their pet. That
I don't know,
you can make
I feel
attack
like-
and has stats and all that stuff. So,
I've-
like, in essence, all Knights of the Republic did was make every class a pet class.
I don't know. I think it would be
I-
interesting if you had a party of 4 characters. Like, you essentially played 4 characters simultaneously at one time. And then there were just little groups of adventuring parties running around the world. It would probably look silly if everyone kind of was a square of people running around. But, I don't know. That would catch my attention.
Well, Ryan, did you ever play the Dot Hack series?
I didn't. No, that's for
Because
PlayStation 2,
that's just basically a one-player MMO.
right? Okay. Well, so
mean,
the
it's
Xena
delightful.
Saga was kind of that style, too, I felt.
Yeah.
You mean Xenoblade?
Xenoblade.
I'm sorry.
Xenoblade.
I always
Yeah,
get
Xenoblade.
the
Xenosaga
Xenos
was-
confused.
Was turn-based.
And then
I don't know,
Xenogears is the PlayStation 1 JRPG.
Yeah, and Saga was PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, like you have to have a certain kind of mindset and have to want to play the game to really be into an MMO in general. Like you have to want to be to interact with people and do all that stuff. And Blandy, like unless it's like me
Apparently, I'm a
Skill or
special
somebody.
case.
No, because you actually hate MMOs. You just like to play them with your friends every once in a while. You hate everything
I
about
love,
them.
I love MMOs when they got story and stuff.
Yeah, so you like a single player. You like a subpar single player story on a multiplayer.
I
Was a
played
multiplayer.
WoW for a good long time. I like grinding.
Yeah, no, I think that can be said about a lot of specialty games of, real-time strategy. You have to be okay with sitting and clicking on the same units over and over and over. I think every game kind of has a certain, hey, you need to get over this hump to be able to enjoy it. A puzzle game, you have to be able to get past the frustration of, failing a puzzle 100 times until you walk away and figure it out later. But yeah, MMOs have just always been a very big hurdle for me. I think it's more of the time commitment than anything. I like to pick up a game, play it for a couple hours, and then come back to it like a month or 2 later. I can't. Very rarely can I sit and play something for a month, straight.
Right.
Mhm.
But anything else you've been playing, Blandy, other than the Final Fantasies?
Well, yeah, I played a lot of Team Fortress just today. There is a Sony sale happening on the PlayStation 3 today, so I'm gonna definitely pick up. I've been meaning to pick up season 2 Walking Dead. That's gonna be $10.
Oh wow. Yeah, I still haven't played any
Also,
of that.
The Wolf Within, or yeah,
The Wolf
the
Among Us.
Wolf Among Us. I still haven't bought, even though I played the first episode already.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's
So good.
$9. So picking that up as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with The Wolf Among Us so far. It got me into, reading the comic and kind of explore that universe more. Um, I don't think it's as emotionally charged as The Walking Dead was, but it's definitely a different kind of game.
Hmm.
But I haven't played. I played the, what is it, 500 Days Walking Dead.
Yeah, but they've got episode 1 out for season 2 now.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I haven't had the drive to sit down and play it. I think if
I am for $10.
Sure. Yeah, but I've been playing them on the PC. What I want is to find like 3 of those games and have the releases staggered, so I can play like 1 or 2 episodes, every few weeks. I think that would be amazing.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good plan.
But I understand it takes a lot of time to write and kind of get all this stuff sorted out, and they have their own release schedule. But if they had a handful of these kind of staggered, like I hope the Borderlands one is really good, I would be very happy with kind of making that my weekly television show to watch, or one of 4 television shows to watch, and then watch one a month. Because they basically are glorified, a little bit longer television shows. Not a ton of interactivity. It's a lot of dialogue choices, which, again, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. The writing in those games is definitely their strong suit.
Oh yes.
There's a little bit more investigation for The Wolf Among Us, not really looking for clues and things like that, but a lot of the scenarios you're in are a little bit more analytical, I think, where Walking Dead was more of, hey, what is the right thing to do in this situation? I always thought the most fascinating part of those games was, at the end, kind of seeing where you fell, like, how many people treated this person this way, and you're like, why the fuck would they be nice to that person? They're a douchebag. But yeah, cool. This week I've been kind of all over the place. There is a review up for Jazz Punk. I replayed that game. I just love that game. It's short, it's weird, and just kind of a fascinating little world. Not all the jokes are kind of roll on the floor hilarious, but kind of the comparison that keeps coming up is Airplane the movie type of humor. Just that kind of wacky, surreal, nothing really is kind of joined together. Everything's just kind of done for the excuse of a joke humor, which I really appreciate. I also picked up a component. I know I'm really with the times, but a component PS2 cable. So I've been playing through a lot of other PS2 games, and I'm actually very happy with how much better the PS2 looks with component cables. I'm sure that's to be expected, but playing a lot of Katamari that is one of my favorite games ever made. And I just sit in my room and hum along with the music. I can listen to that music all goddamn day, and it never gets old. Other than that, I started playing the Swapper a little bit, very, very briefly.
The what?
The Swapper is a third-person exploration game, and it's all kind of centered around this mechanic. So you are an astronaut that kind of lands on this planet, and you find the Swapper device, hence the name. And it is basically, you get the ability to make a clone of yourself. So you create a clone, and he does exactly what you do, mirror, move forward, move backward, jump, whatever it is. And it starts out very simple as, okay, make a guy, put him on this switch, but if you move toward a door, he's going to move too, and then the door's going to close. So it's just kind of managing, putting them in situations where they can't move. And then you eventually get to the point to embody those clones, and you can, switch your person to the next person. So if you are down kind of in a little pit, you can make a clone up on the hill, swap to that person, and then kind of keep progressing. So it's just a really interesting little kind of third-person puzzle game. The art style is really striking. It is almost this macro lens, found object-y art style. It almost looks like stop-motion animation, and it's really, really cool. Everything's kind of dark and wet and blue and dreary.
Dark and wet.
Yeah, it's got this really kind of weird, oppressive atmosphere, but not in a kind of uncomfortable way, more of in like a surreal, nothing here kind of fits way. So I'm actually really excited to see where that goes. That's definitely a game I'll probably pick up for, an hour or so every day just to kind of make a little bit of progress. I don't think that game's particularly long either, but it was part of the Humble Bundle 11 that just came out, along with a bunch of other games. And there was, some weird little beat game that came out. But yeah, pretty much just kind of been bouncing around in my PS2 collection. I've still been meaning to play Devil May Cry. I don't know why that game has been calling my name from my shelf. It's a game I've never played, but I'm thinking I'm going to try to fire that up next week. Yeah, I have I found all 3 PS2 games at Goodwill, and I heard the first one is probably one of the better ones. So yes. I'm going to kind of go through and see.
Number 2 is good for the gameplay, but not for the story. The gameplay in number 2 is probably the best.
Okay.
But because they really overhauled what you could do with it. It's a lot of fun to play, but story-wise, yeah, it sucks balls.
So it's just like a brawler, right? You're this Dante guy, and you're just basically juggling demons up in the air.
The first one has more of a Castlevania-esque feature, where you're in a castle and you're going through stuff. So
like items and power-ups and stuff like that, or just cool.
Yeah, you'll have a good time with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, nothing really is coming out that I'm super excited for. I saw that Saints Row 4 was on sale as well.
Get it.
I loved 3. I really loved 3.
4 is just as good, if not better.
I heard it's just completely batshit insane in all the best ways.
It's freaking amazing. That's still one of my favorite games.
So you're saying $15 is well worth it? Oh
God, yes. I paid the full $50 for it.
Okay, then maybe I'll pick that up.
I was happy. I got a bunch of the DLCs and stuff like that. Like, it's just because I wanted to play it more.
Excellent.
And I just recently uninstalled it just because I needed more space on my computer, but I was a little pained to do so because there's always that chance of going back and just messing around in it.
Does it still have the co-op mode where you can kind of play through the entire game pretty seamlessly with someone else?
As far as I know, I haven't done co-op in either one of them, but
I did a little bit of co-op of Saints Row 3 with Nate, and it was actually pretty well done. It kind of shoehorns it in there, but I didn't think kind of the challenge was hindered too much. That those games aren't particularly hard to begin with, especially kind of with the revive mechanic and stuff like that. They're just kind of a good chaotic fun.
I loved them. Like, I don't know, man. GTA I always get bored with, but both of those two, Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4, I couldn't put down.
GTA just takes itself too damn seriously. Like, sometimes you're just like, this game is so weird, and these people are having like strong emotional conflicts, and learning life lessons, and then you're just mowing down pedestrians. Like,
it wasn't originally like that though. Like GTA 2,
yeah,
which is like the first one I really played.
1 and 2 were super wacky.
They're a little more tongue in cheek than what you get now.
And not to say there's not humor, it feels very, opposing ends of the spectrum, where what I really liked about Saints Row 3 was, just from get-go, it's like, this game is fucking stupid, this game is fucking crazy, go at it. They gave you that, ridiculous flying tank, helicopter, fighter jet thing, I think within the first, 2 hours of the game. which is
Just
essentially
stuff.
game breaking. You know, just just go around and just unleash missiles on everyone. We don't fucking care.
Hmm.
Which is great. Like, that's why I play those games, is I just want to cause chaos and not really have to worry about it.
And you'll be able to cause a lot of chaos with superpowers in Saints Row 4.
Yeah, see, that's the appeal. All right, I think you sold me on the new Saints Row. And I think you can get, like, the season pass or whatever. All the DLC is super cheap now, too. Hopefully that's still on sale. Go on.
You can get Hey Ash, what you playing?
What about Hash?
Yeah, I didn't get that because I mean, like you were saying that when I was pointing it out to you, Blandon, like the trailer was was more interesting than the actual content that they added.
What? I like Papa Birch. All right,
Papa Birch is hilarious, but
Papa Birch is hilarious.
Oh, so there's
What?
like a themed DLC for that?
I mean,
Yes.
all it did was add those three as homies that you can call into battle.
Yeah.
Which I never use anyway.
Yeah, I don't think. I think. Spoiler alert for Saints Row 3. Was it Burt Reynolds?
Oh yeah.
I would call on him whenever humanly possible because
because it's Burt Reynolds.
when that fucking came out, I'm like, this is the greatest goddamn thing in a video game ever. Like, and it wasn't even because I needed help. It's just like, yeah, no, I need to call Burt Reynolds on the phone right fucking now. Like, so excellent. Well, yeah. Do we want to move on to news?
News.
So Blandy, you said you had a couple things that were piquing your interest. What were you looking at?
All right, first things first. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Xbox One Titanfall Xbox.
So why are you all bent out of shape about this?
All right,
It doesn't seem
so
like
a
there's
little-
anything to it.
A little history lesson for a second, right?
Okay.
There was a few weeks ago. There was a rumor that somebody posted a couple of pictures up about some new Xbox One systems that were coming out. All right, one was a Titanfall themed Xbox One. All right, it had the new Xbox One Titanfall controller, which I already bought. I don't even have the system. I bought that sucker.
Like a special skin or something like that?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Okay.
If just type in Titanfall controller on Google, you'll see it. It looks great. It looks very Mass Effect-y, which I did like. And like the whole console was going to look like that, and probably come with Titanfall. And I went like, you know what? I was going to buy one, but now I think I'll wait for this. So here I am waiting for it. They also put out word that there was going to be a white Xbox One that was at a lesser price point but didn't have a disk drive. So really what they wanted for the basically a Steam box,
Yeah.
which is what Microsoft wanted in the first place. But yeah, that rumor came out, and then there were news that there was an available SKU that you could pre-order that had the mature rating title and was $500. So I got word of that, and I was like, ooh, oh, could this be? Could this be? I was all excited, and then suddenly the news broke yesterday morning that yes, there's going to be a Titanfall Xbox One. And I went like, oh, yay! And then I clicked on the news story, and then I found that it was a regular Xbox One that just came with a
There's absolutely
Titanfall,
nothing unique about this at all. It's just your normal black Xbox. They even on the same page, I'm looking at it now, have the Titanfall limited edition controller that you can totally order separately if you want.
Yeah. It's a regular Xbox One, comes with the same bullshit. All it comes with that the regular one doesn't is a month of Xbox Live and the digital Titanfall. And I was like, You motherfuckers.
So that is a trend that really bothers me too. That all of the bundles now only come with digital versions of games. Now I completely understand why, but as someone who always opts for the physical version, if I'm paying, for this collector's bundle or whatever it is, I really, really would prefer to have a physical version.
Agreed.
And I just assume that is no longer the case. Like, that will never happen again. I think the last one that happened with was the Wii U. Because I got the Zombieland bundle, or Zombie U bundle.
Yeah.
And that came with a physical disc. Though it didn't come with a physical disc, now that I think about it, for Nintendo World. That was a digital download, which I remember being upset about.
Yeah, but now there's a new Wii U version for the 8 gig that comes with Skylanders disc version and also a disc version of Nintendo Land as well.
I thought they weren't making the 8 gigs anymore. I thought Nintendo...
No, they just repackaged them with Skylanders to sell them.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I was just angry first off because I was disappointed. I wanted... I've been holding off on getting an Xbox One because I am tired of getting hit by, getting it at the first time and then suddenly, oh, here's a Star Wars console. Don't you love this? Yeah, I like that. I'm going to spend more money on this.
So, that's exactly how I feel.
Limited.
That's exactly how I feel about the PS4. I am at the point now where I would really like to go and buy a PS4. Though they are still very hard to find, at least around me. The other part of me...
Japan only just got them like 2 days ago.
The other part of me really wants to wait for a bundle. Ideally, maybe a, Metal Gear bundle would be ideal. We can talk about that game later. But I think it would be cool if there was a Foxhound, Metal Gear. I think they did one for PS3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but only later.
Yeah, so, I do. I want some kind of, special paint treatment or something like
Exactly. Give me some pizzazz for me spending this money. I'm sorry, but now your initial wave of people that have gotten this Xbox One, that are going to get the Xbox One, have already gotten the Xbox One.
So the Xbox One is $500 normally, though. So really all they're doing now is including Titanfall. I guess in a month of Xbox, but fuck that, because you're paying them.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody that was already going to get Titanfall, they've already got an Xbox One to do that.
Do you think that the reason that...
And it's only for a limited time, this bundle.
But do you think it's because they weren't selling as many Xbox Ones as they would like to have and couldn't justify a new production line?
Yeah, as you see, through the various news sites, PlayStation 4 has sold more, both in North America and worldwide.
Whether it's a supply issue or not, they're not available.
Yeah. There's a reason.
Yeah, but that's always been the case with PlayStation. Every time they put out a new system, that Sony is always, I don't know, I think.
But for this long, it's been a while.
Dude, look at PlayStation 2. Look at PlayStation 3. Both of them, they're just.
Okay, go ahead. Look it up. I'll wait.
For what?
Well, the PlayStation 3 did not sell out.
Sold about 2.3 million when it first came out worldwide.
But that's because that thing was $700 goddamn dollars.
Agreed. And now PlayStation 4 has sold 5.6 million.
Joel, you are correct. The PlayStation 2 sold.
Well, then
what
were you?
I was referring to the fact that they're always hard to find when they first come out.
But I feel like these consoles have been out long enough. We've passed that date of.
I remember PlayStation 2 being sold out for ages after it first came out. My friends' parents waited for hours in a line at Walmart to be able to get it in time, and I just remember for a long time you just could not find PlayStation 2 anywhere.
I feel like PlayStation 2 had the advantage of being that inexpensive DVD player too. When that thing came
True.
out, DVD players were relatively new as well.
True.
Um,
But I mean,
kind-
it's not like it's anything new, you know. Like this has happened before, as far as like supply and demand stuff goes right now. Like,
But I think what we're saying is it is a supply and demand problem. But if the audience was a little bit more balanced, I can go right now to any electronics store, even though they're closing in a little bit, and buy an Xbox One. I've seen piles of Xbox Ones. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really believe that Xbox has manufactured that many more consoles. Like, 10 times
you
as
get-
many.
You also have to think about Xbox. First off, they're going to give America preferential treatment because, you know, that's where it's big. Then second off, they didn't do it worldwide. They only did it in like 16 countries, maybe 20 countries.
Okay.
So, like, you know, they actually limited themselves, and that's why you see so much in the marketplace right now. And
Well, I
that's
guess-
bad for them because guess what? If they're not moving them at that price,
They're gonna have
You
to
know.
discount.
well, Xbox One also had the same problem PlayStation 3 had, trying to do too much with one system and asking too high of a asking price.
Yeah, it's amazing with that extra $100 really kind of turned people around. They're like, well, you know, on a mechanical level, this thing is the PS4 is a little bit more powerful, and yours is $100 more. So, other than all my friends being on Xbox, there's not a lot of value incentive there.
They also had a lot of bad press too. If you look
Yeah,
back
the bad
over the
press
past couple of
definitely-
years, I mean,
definitely
the whole the game sharing thing.
Yeah, they did a lot of backpedaling at
They,
that launch.
yeah, they got hit so hard with that, and I don't think they fully recovered from a lot of the bad press that they got originally.
That's a good point. I don't know. I'm definitely going to be picking up a PS4, not an Xbox One, though. I'm just still kind of, you know, with these bundles starting to get announced, and it's eventually going to be summer, and you know they have a lot of video game specials and stuff around E3. So I'm hoping against hope that PS4s will start being in stock, and maybe they'll have some shiny new ones with a paint job, unlike this piece of crap Titanfall Xbox One.
agreed.
So I guess talking about PlayStation 4 and how superior it is.
So,
I guess Metal Gear Solid is on Xbox as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're dropping the price on that.
Yeah, they should have done it. It should be even less than that.
So
This
is a direct response to kind of some information coming out that kind of
It's
playing through the
short.
game in a single shot is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Now, I just played a 2-hour game. I spent $15 on it, and that seemed just right to me. Like that
Agreed.
kind of
Yes.
$15. Like, okay, you know, that's kind of a lot of money for, you know, a 2-hour game, but I'm going to go back and play it a couple times. You know, I missed a lot of achievements and things like that. And to be perfectly honest, it costs about $15 to go to the movies around here anyway, and I enjoyed that game more than I've enjoyed a movie in a theater in a long time. So, to come out and say we want $40 for this 2-hour game, they started getting a lot of kickback. And yeah, now they're saying, is it 30 and 20 now?
Yeah. Well, the PS3 and 360 ones have not gotten any price cut.
Well,
As far
but
as I
it
know.
was always that the digital version was going to be $10 cheaper. It was
Yeah,
$40
like-
for physical, $30 for.
Yeah, for the last gen, you know, it's $20 for download and $30 for the physical for last gen. Now this next gen, you know, I have a PS4. I want to freaking play the Metal Gear on the PS4.
so wait, let's
So-
be specific here. Metal Gear Solid 5, right?
No,
No, it's Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zero.
Okay.
Well, yes,
It is
it
a
is Metal Gear Solid
prequel
5
to
Ground
the
Zeroes.
Phantom Pain.
Okay. Oh, so they're trying to charge $30 for a prequel to a game
For
that's gonna cost
basically the
60.
ship part of fucking Metal Gear Solid 2, where it's, like the first
it's-
couple
yeah,
hours
it's
of the
big-
game and then completely changes
Yeah.
tone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's some horse shit. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Part of me, if I'm not going to be able to get it in a bundle, is probably just going to wait till it goes on
I mean,
sale.
2 hours though, too. Like 2 hours. $30 for 2 hours.
Well, they keep kind of driving home the point. Hold on, let me see if I can find.
Kojima
Okay,
keeps
here we
going
go.
like, listen, I know it's short, but you can play it any way you want.
I'm going to read
Like-
you the quote. All missions include elements such as trial records, where players can compete against one another online. This is not a linear game like the past. Ground Zero offers freedom, the approach, and play style, which we hope players enjoy over and over without boring them. So basically, they're saying, well, it is short, but you're going to want to play it over and over. I'll be perfectly honest. I play Metal Gear
Yeah,
maybe once every few years. Not to say I don't replay those games, but when I finish a Metal Gear game, I am mentally exhausted. Those games are fucking completely insane, completely unhinged, make absolutely no sense, and by the time those credits are rolling, I am in no mood to fire that up again. Not necessarily in a bad way, but when I think of replayable games, Metal Gear Solid is probably on the bottom of that list. And then a couple years later, I'm like, okay, I think I need to play that game again because I remember this one part was completely insane and I want to do that. But
Yeah, but not also like just that press junket right there is saying like, oh well, we have more value. It's like having a one-player game and tacking on multiplayer for no reason.
Yep.
yeah, where you basically stand in a room and look at one another. It's like, yeah,
Like, hey, we could justify this price. No, you can't, dude.
It's
That's
these
ridiculous.
online leaderboards are something that you can do on a database level, and it's pretty much data they're collecting anyway for quality control. So it's just a really kind of sleazy way to justify the length of your game.
Agreed. Also, here's another good point. Like, what's to say that when, 2015, 2016, when they finally put out Phantom Pain, that they just don't, oh, by the way, we're putting Ground Zeroes with it for you guys.
Yeah,
You're gonna piss off a lot of people with that one.
Yeah. Like,
Subsistence
like
or whatever.
They're just grabbing right now. They went like, well, what do you have, Kojima? Well, I've got this part done. I mean, I guess we could just kind of put it as a prequel.
And
Yeah,
you know
let's do
what?
it.
I think if they would have done it as an act of goodwill and said, "Hey, man, here's this thing for $10," like you're basically paying for a demo, a very long demo, but throw us some cash. I think everyone would be jumping up and down, singing their praises on what an amazing company Konami is. They
Agreed.
made this great, preview. It's super cheap, and we're all going to go out and play it, and we're all going to talk about how awesome it is. But now they just made the conversation about how they're trying to squeeze every last dime out of people. It's
It's
not
all
a
about
huge
price point, baby.
It really is.
The unfortunate part is, there are people gonna buy it.
I'm gonna buy it, and
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna buy it.
I'm not happy about it. Like I'm mad at
See?
myself.
See, but like right there, you just, you justify the behavior.
I am hoping I have the self control
granted,
to wait until
no,
I can get
what
it used.
I'm gonna do? By defiance, my good sirs, I'm gonna wait till it gets pre-owned.
Yeah,
Because I guarantee there are people that are just going to
play through it and return it.
play through it, trade it in, and I'll give my money to, Just Press Play, GameStop, Best Buy, what have you. Give them the money and not give Kojima the money because it's a shady thing to do.
No, I agree. I unless I get it in a bundle, I have a strong feeling I'm just gonna wait to get the physical because I'm gonna want the physical copy anyway.
Yes, I want the physical copy.
So, I still am excited to play it, but yeah, I'm not happy with how they decided to go about this.
Agreed.
I guess also in the news, there is a new Diablo 3 patch coming out. Uh, I did we all play Diablo 3? Is that something we all
I
experienced?
did.
No.
I was actually gonna bring this up too.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole Loot 2.0 system or whatever.
Yes.
Well,
Two.
the first thing I noticed about it, well, in general, was about last time I looked was maybe a month or so ago, and they were still talking about completely doing away with the auction house.
Yes, that is in 2.0.1. It is the actual deletion of the real
No.
money gold auction house. What?
Wrong.
Really?
From last I heard, they aren't. I was just reading today that they actually decided that they aren't getting rid of the auction house now.
Let me see what this article is.
But this
February
2.0 patch,
24th.
this 2.0 patch was supposed to cut the legs out from under it, as like they said, because it was supposed to design better ways to get equipment that involved killing monsters as opposed to just spending money.
Okay. I mean, this is saying 2.0.1. Upcoming major update, system revamps such as removal of the real money and gold auction houses. So, yeah, I'm not sure then which is which, but that is probably the thing that stuck out to me the most. That was an experiment that, I mean, I guess financially probably worked just fine for Blizzard, but I don't know if it was worth what they had to go through for that.
Well, I think there was a lot of backlash for the auction house in general.
I
both ways.
logged into it when it first launched and never touched it again. It just seems so sleazy and so pointless. Like, I guess I understand people are going to go on eBay and sell their, Blizzard accounts or whatever it is anyway, and this is just a way that they can kind of ensure that they're getting a cut for it. But I don't understand the appeal of going in and buying gems and buying, a level 50 sword. Like, I never got that. But
I don't know. Sorry, I was trying to find the date of this post, but I can't. It might be an older post.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because I heard that they were gonna cut it, and I thought maybe they backtracked on that.
I mean, I think they need to if this game's going to have any more legs. If they want to, fix their broken loot system to begin with and say, hey, we have this new expansion set. We're patching the game. Everything's going to be better balanced, and you're going to get that loot you love, and you're not going to have to, grind to get it. Because that's essentially what happened in Diablo 3 is, you finish that game and you don't feel like you have all the best loot. And they're like, oh, well, you should play it again on a harder difficulty, and a harder difficulty, and a harder difficulty. And I don't want to do that. If I enjoyed playing the game at the end, yeah, maybe I would. If I had all this crazy overpowered stuff and like, yeah, I can take on super hard mode, like, yeah, bring it on. But when I finished the game on normal or whatever it was, and I'm like, okay, I was just powerful enough to get through this, what is my incentive to play this game again?
I mean, it's the same thing with Diablo 2, though. I mean,
I was never super into Diablo 2.
Well, then, yeah, then it's clear why you wouldn't be that into Diablo 3. I mean, I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Diablo 3. Like, I had a fun time playing through it once.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of it has to, you have to be in that grind mode, and you have to want to really, progress your character and all that stuff, and try to really get yourself behind building the best character that you can. I mean, that's what a lot of these games are based off. It goes back to the same thing with, MMOs. You know, it's a big part of that, too. But you just have to get behind that. And I think what the loots, the whole auction system takes away from is the actual, the killing the monsters to get the loot. I mean, and then at that point, all you're doing is wait until you level up, and then you're max level, and you just go buy all the loot that you want. I just found that this article was really old. It was a link to another article through this, but whatever. The whole, my whole thing with it was I didn't mind the gold auction house because
buying currency.
Yeah, because it's there's no outside money involved. It's all within the game, okay? And the players set the prices and all that stuff. And it actually gives some it gives a use for gold, which typically is. I mean, I know in Diablo 2, once you got to a certain point, gold was pretty much worthless. Like it didn't really matter except to repair your equipment every once in a while. But like I understand them cutting away the gold auction house or the real money auction house. I still don't understand the gold auction house. And last I saw, there was no. I mean, I haven't really looked that in depth into it recently, but they weren't really introducing any new ways to trade. So like that was a big complaint that people were having with
actually be able to trade items instead of trying
Right.
to buy them and then buy it with the money that you made from selling it. And
because I mean, from what I remember, there's no like major chat lobbies or anything like that. It's just you hop into a game, and it's
no, you're
it's the
absolutely
game.
right. And especially if you play with friends and stuff like that, is there any easy way if you're like, oh, I got all this loot that I don't need, that we do from time to time when we play online games, like, oh,
Yeah,
this
I
doesn't
mean-
fit my character.
You can do it that way. Like you can do it within the actual game. It's just there's no way to set up like an act. There's no like trade channel. Like there's
Okay.
there's no like global like chat channel for people to go onto and be like, hey, I have this, looking for this, like that kind of stuff that you'll see. And so if they take away the auction house, they pretty much eliminate the possibility for people to trade very fluidly. And the only way you're going to be able to trade is if you're constantly just going into games and being like, hey, does anyone want to trade for this? And then, nope, get the hell out of
those
here.
people so
And then you
much.
come in and, hey, does anyone want to trade for this?
Oh
Yes.
my
So
gosh,
basically
that
just-
has ruined a lot of like Counter-Strike and stuff for me. It drives me nuts when I'm on a game. They're like, well, I got these skins. Anyone want to trade? It's like, shut the fuck up and play the game. I don't.
But that's
Nope.
what I mean, and that's essentially, unless they introduce something since then, but they were pretty much eliminating the ability to trade.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that hopefully Diablo 3 is moving in the right direction. I think it's a little too late for them. I think it's we're a little past
Well,
this.
I don't know because the new expansion's coming out, and I think they'll draw in some people that way. And if they can improve things, and that was part of this was they're trying to revamp the game before the expansion comes out, and that was the idea behind this Loot 2.0 and this whole the auction houses like deletion and all that. The whole Loot 2.0 thing is to like one to build like more efficiency too as far as gathering loot, and they're like having like smart drops and stuff like that which are based around your character and
Okay.
like specific loot runs instead of going into a certain and fighting a certain boss over and over and over and over again, which was done in Diablo 2 and which is done in Diablo 3 to get the loot. They're just setting up like specific like 15-20 minute dungeons for people to run through and just they can keep doing it that way. And I guess it's randomly generated each time, so it's not the same thing over and over and over again. So like that's kind of interesting, and they're trying to introduce stuff more like that, so where you are trying to you fight your way to get your equipment, but like I said, it still works if you're getting equipment that's for other classes if you have that ability to trade it. And I think maybe what they want to get away from with that too is like you were saying before is like people just going to the third party sites and using
Just
money
selling it.
anyway. And yeah, and I know that they're trying to get away from that too, and they were trying with the gold auction house. They were trying to keep that money in house more or less.
Which you can't blame them for.
But it's just I don't know. It takes away from what really drew a lot of people into Diablo 2.
Do you think if they do all of this right and they really kind of nail the new loot system and they kind of get rid of, the pay for power kind of concept of the auction house and things like that, do you think that it has the opportunity to have the legs that Diablo 2 had? I mean, Diablo 2 is, over a decade, isn't it?
I think, honestly, if I remember correctly, Diablo 2 really, really exploded when the expansion came out, when Lord of Destruction came out. I mean,
Okay.
that's when that was, like, I played it before that, but I didn't really get into Diablo 2 until Lord of Destruction came out. And then it was like, me and all my friends just played it for hours a night, That was essentially the MMO back then, right?
Yeah.
But it was free.
And I think that was the thing, too. That was the first kind of online RPG that everyone kind of sunk their teeth into before they got huge.
So I mean, it's possible. I haven't played the game. Some people might not mind it. I had some issues with the way the classes were set up, at least like skills and all that stuff. I prefer the Diablo 2 method, like getting a skill point every level and all that stuff,
Mhm.
as opposed to just unlocking skills gradually. I don't know. I like being able to choose my progression. You know, like it makes your character unique. Obviously, you can set up your skills in a way that makes that like a certain build, but you know, I mean, and you in the end, like you're gonna have cookie cutter builds, and you're gonna have that even with like progression trees. But there's just something different about uh, being able to choose and customize a little bit more as you go, and like
Yeah.
being able to pick what you want to specialize in, as opposed to just having everything.
Well, yeah, I think
I
it's
don't like
that kind
having-
of old school mentality of making your character. Like, this thing is
Right.
a unique, kind of flawed character where, you know, it is a trade off. It's okay, you know, I want to be able to
Right. Do
specialize.
one thing really well, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that was I liked that in Diablo 2. It's like I could make a sorceress like 3 different ways if I wanted to, you know, or you could make it a million different ways. There's a lot of different builds there, or like you know, you had a Javazon, you had a Boazon, you had a I mean, I don't know how many people actually did spears, but you could probably make one with spears. That was okay, I guess.
But that kept you playing. That is what kept you going back. Like, oh, I want to try this character build.
There was replayability in it, and I think the way they set the character progression up in the new one, it kind of takes that away. Like you only ever need to make one monk. You only ever need to make one assassin, or I guess they
Yeah.
don't have assassins now, but you only need to make one demon hunter. Like I don't know. It's just weird to me seeing that.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I really enjoyed Diablo 3. Only played it once. But if this new expansion, you know, comes out and there's a lot of good buzz about it, I might pick it up. I'd be willing to try it again. Like, you know,
Well,
if we can-
seeing this whole new thing, like the new patch or whatever that came out today, I'm actually tempted to get back in and see how it's doing now.
it just makes the fact that they care enough about the game not to just dump another expansion set and, you know, give us whatever money you have, the people who are still playing this, and then we're going to go back to whatever it is that we're doing. Like,
Well,
the fact that they're trying to help the community and try to make it the best game.
They
that
were
the-
still releasing content patches for Diablo 2 well to the I can't remember there was one big one years after the expansion came out that introduced the synergies
Mhm.
where you had like you would put skill points into one skill. Like the original, like the vanilla skill set was you put points into a skill, and unless it was designed originally to be a passive buff to something, that was it. Like Fireball was just for Fireball, you know. But they changed it to where like Firebolt, if you put enough points into Firebolt, you would it would boost the damage for like Fireball or something later down the road, and stuff like that. So, but that was way down the road too. That was well after Lord of Destruction came out, but it was still a really popular game at that point too, and people, you know, like were interested and wanted this stuff to come through.
Well, hopefully they're able to revitalize it. You know, the reason I picked out that story is it was just interesting that they do seem to be putting a lot of care into the patch, and that is a reason for me to pay enough attention. You know, I'm not just writing it off as, oh, you know, it's just more content. It's just, you know, they or just want to use the same engine to make more money. Like, this is something that they clearly still have a team that's really dedicated and really passionate about. That's really
Right.
nice to see in this day and age for video games. Yeah. But yeah, anybody else have any other news?
I have something that isn't directly game related, but I think it is related to every gamer's life.
Okay, what is this?
Taco Bell on March 27th
Oh God, no.
will be releasing a breakfast menu.
That thing looks the
Waffle taco.
waffle taco. All I can think of is
It doesn't look very appealing, but I'm gonna eat one, and it's the day after my birthday, so I'm probably gonna take a vacation day that day. And Go
that way
pig
you
out
can have
on
a
Taco
stomach
Bell
ache all day.
breakfast. Yeah. Like I'm more interested in the AM Crunch Wrap personally.
I'm gonna try it. Like, of course I'm gonna fucking try it. I love Taco Bell, but God damn it, that looks disgusting. Oh my god.
I really have absolutely no interest in the waffle taco. I'm
Oh.
gonna say it right now. It looks
Waffle
gross.
Taco,
It's
gonna
vile.
eat
But I think the AM Crunch Wrap has potential.
But I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna wake up hungover one day, and I'm gonna be like, I want some fucking breakfast.
That's what I'm saying.
taco.
March 27th. I'm gonna wake up hungover.
March 27th. Eat
Yeah,
taco.
I'll take a vacation day that day.
yeah. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm not. It's the same thing with those Dorito blasted
The
fucking.
Doritos Locos Tacos.
Oh, those things are
Oh,
so
they're
gross.
delicious.
They're
They're
Those
so
are
gross.
disgusting.
Ah,
They
Cool
make
Ranch?
me ill. I've tried every single one, hoping the Cool Ranch was not
I
the
don't like
worst.
Doritos.
the fire tacos were gross. I didn't like the.
I've had all
fire
three,
ones.
and all three are disgusting. The ranch
Ah,
was
the
by
Cool
far
Ranch.
the most palatable. I did not feel like I wanted to end my own life after eating
That's
that.
like all I get there anymore.
Oh, no, I
It's the
can't
Cool
do it.
Ranch.
Oh, now I'm getting a little ill just even thinking about that. Joel.
That's funny because I was getting a little hungry.
Oh, gross.
Now I kind of want a breakfast Doritos Loco taco now. I feel like that would be pretty amazing.
God damn it now. Look, man, if I could just get a taco at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd be happy as a pig in
Dude,
shit.
just think about taco Sundays in college and how much greater they would have been if you had the option of getting regular tacos and a waffle taco.
We never got out and like into the world before noon on Taco Sunday.
Dude, I think we went at like 11 o'clock. a
We
couple
were
times.
usually so fucking hungover the next
Taco
day
Sunday.
that
Mr. Friendly.
no way we were getting there at breakfast time. If we went to get breakfast, it was always at the diner because it was very, very close and delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now I want diner food. See, now my hunger's coming back. Now I want greasy ass diner food.
Waffle taco.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for the second episode of the Pixel Ship podcast. Again, you can find us at pixelship.net. We now have Facebook. We are putting these up on YouTube as well. We have Twitter and G+, because Google makes you pretty much do that now. And yeah, the website's coming along. We're going to have the first handful of reviews and articles up in the coming weeks, so come check out the site. Leave us some feedback at the Pixel Ship blog at gmail.com, or drop a comment on YouTube, and we'll do our best to get back to you. As always, I'm Ryan Hayes with Joel Hartlob
Peace.
and Ryan Blandy.
Greetings.
No greetings, we're leaving.
Leaving.
Okay, leavings. Alright, everyone, have a great week, and we will see you next week.